What is up out there in the radio, YouTube, internet land? Welcome to Big D Energy. Somebody left the keys to the boat, and I'm driving the pontoon. Yes, four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty in control.
So you're driving the pontoon?
I'm driving the pontoon.
So that means the show's going to go slow today. This is supposed to be Big D Energy, brother.
Listen, I got two 250s on the back of my pontoon, baby.
Okay,
you know
right.
that's the voice of the professor himself, the one and only Terry Foster. And joined, as always, my partner in crime, Wayne State legend, Detroit Lions own, Mr. Joint Bell. How are you fellas today?
Oh, we're great. That was a great intro
nice
today.
Day.
That was
Sun
a great
is
intro.
out.
Well, yeah, I forgot. You know, we also never go any place without fish in the fish bowl and Sawyer on the ones and twos. So, looking, hey, sun's out. It's a attaboy, fishy head. Hump day out here. If you're listening to us or watching us on the YouTube, on the Twitter, Woodward Sports, Big D Energy, or 93.5, 99.1, and 94.7 if you have HD2, which I was informed, Fish, that your Lexus probably has HD2, so you could listen to this on your way home if you wanted.
Cool.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
Hey, Fish, if you're driving a Lexus, do you have to have those little paddles, a little foot paddles, so you can reach the gas pedal?
No, I'm just up very close like I am to the audio board.
Oh, okay.
Terry,
All right.
I think that with Fish's paycheck and everything like that, the pedals are the ones that come to him.
Okay.
You know those
yeah,
cars.
that's big money.
I thought
And
they had,
isn't that
big money
big money?
fish.
I
That's
thought the
big
little
money
short
fish.
guys had to put the little paddle on there to get so his little feet can reach them.
Well, you know, sometimes that's the way it is. But, you know, it is hump day. We do have a great show. One of the big things, and I want you guys to be aware, so at noon on the YouTube, we are going to be taking our next winner for, yes, the turkey games. Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our turkey games, right? You know, have you guys seen Squid Games?
Yes, we have seen Squid Game.
okay.
Have
I'm
you
on
not seen-
episode 3.
You're episode 3?
So, okay,
Yes.
Terry, so I'm telling the people, red light, green light, egg target toss, and the honeycomb challenge. So you want to be familiar with those. But at noon today, we're going to qualify another listener, YouTuber, the winner of turkey games with 2 tickets to Thanksgiving Day Detroit game, plus a turkey. And you know what? I heard turkeys are in short supply. As everything else is
I
around
got
here.
one reserved for me.
Well, you're Terry Foster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they got a
if you
target
think
on you.
you can master a turkey game challenge, watch and listen. I will let you know what the secret word of the day is, but you got to be on listening around noon today. Other than that, Wings with a big win last night. We'll get all into that, but I think we want to start off right now. The college football rankings came out, and if we could pull them up there for the people at home, Sawyer, I don't think there's really any argument in the top 4, Terry.
No.
There's no argument.
No argument. I think we said this the other day. Georgia, Bama, Oregon, and Ohio State are the top 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
But,
If we're in Cincinnati, there'd be some people arguing.
well, if we're in Cincinnati, with some people arguing, but I brought this up to you looking at that, putting Cincinnati 5th, does that not give them a better opportunity? Because we were saying all along here on Big D Energy that they're not getting in no matter what. They're not sexy. They're not
and
flashy.
they're still not getting in. They still don't bring in the money. They still don't bring in the fans. They play in a weak conference. They're not going to let them in.
Joe, do you think that? Because why would they not have them down at 6th then, and then move them up to 5 and say, "Oh, you didn't get there"? Is this just being mean?
No. He says
It
it's
is
being
just
mean.
flat being mean by the
is.
It's like,
NCAA.
is it been mean to you? For real? I mean,
Yeah, I
they
think it
bust.
is.
They bust their bust. They're undefeated. They're doing all the right things. They're playing now. They might be in a weak conference, but they have played some tough school. They played Notre Dame, beat Notre Dame on the road. That counts for something. That has to count for something. Now, who else would have to play?
It should count for a top 4 right now. So what they're doing is they're putting their nose in right against the window and said, "Look in there. Look what you can have that we're not going to give to you." And
So you're basically saying they out here winning all these games and they just window shopping.
yeah, that's what they're doing. Now they're going to let them in a nice bowl. You know, they might get the equivalent of a citrus bowl or something like that, but they're not going to let them in. Dang. I thought they would, but they're being mean to them.
So how do you feel? So what about the top 10? Do you agree with the top 10 right now?
I think what the committee did, they threw a stink bomb right here in the middle of the state of Michigan. by putting Michigan ahead of Michigan State.
They
You
should.
lost to the Spartans.
They should be.
But is
So-
that a
It,
stink?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We lost to a top-ranked team compared to losing to a team that's not even in the top 25.
Is that a stink
They're in
bomb?
the top
They're 25
now.
now.
Right.
My question,
but they
you-
weren't.
My question to you, Terry, is that a stink bomb, or is that just the way that we realize how we're viewed? Even though
It's a
in
stink
this
bomb,
state,
brother.
Is that a stink bomb?
in this
No, it's
state,
not.
but it's nationally is how it's viewed. But we always sort of knew that.
Okay, here's the stink bomb.
Right.
You've got a big fight in this state every day between Wolverines and Spartans. And Spartans have an inferiority complex. You know, Michigan is the pretty girl and it gets anything it wants. And they're saying, we beat Michigan, so we should be ranked ahead of them. Michigan, you know, the arrogant asses, they look at Michigan State as little brother. And right now, this is another, this does not impact the Final Four, but it impacts this state. The Michigan can look at State again and say, I told you you're our little brother. You beat us on the field, and but we're still ranked ahead of you. And here's the other thing. Jim Harbaugh was criticized for criticizing the officials.
No, he criticized the officials into a higher rank.
Right, but it ends up being a smart strategy. What he did is he pulled the Pat Riley. Pat Riley, when you were in a playoff series and when he was coaching the Lakers, the game didn't end with at 0-0-0. He was starting game 2 and doing the press conference after game 1 if he lost it.
Well,
and I think this is what Jim Harbaugh did.
Scotty Bowman, same way.
No, that's not what
he
happened.
sure did.
That's not what
Scotty
happened.
Bowman was the same way. What great coaches do is they deflect. You know, Pat Riley was the same way. How many times you do a Scotty Bowman interview, Terry, where you ask him, what about that call? And then he says, yeah, Fedorov, you know, on that play or whatever, like change the subject. And for their purpose, what means the most to him and
Right.
self-serving for the
Or
organization.
you'd ask Scotty Bowman about a controversial call, and he started talking about Kroger grocery store.
That's what I'm saying.
And I remember I asked him a question, which I thought was a good one, and he just mumbled about nothing. And the reporter turned to me and said, I dare you to use that in your story. I'm like, no, I'm not, because I have no idea what he said.
and that's the way to deflect. So my point is, because when Jim Harbaugh came out and said, yeah, I got a call or whatever from the league and you know messed up whatever doing that, and then the NCAA or the Big Ten says, no, we didn't say that, but he was you say he was doing that.
Yeah, in other words, we got screwed. We're better than that team that beat us. You know, we're on the road.
So it's all politicking.
The referee screwed us. That's basically, he was playing that game, and I think it worked.
But it worked for the right. But we're at the end of the day, because if we're talking about both teams in this state, they control their own destiny, right? On the way out. So right now, I'm not as upset, honestly, as where Michigan State is ranked, as watching Cincinnati move up to 5 and sort of being able. They're letting them look in the window.
Yeah, let them
and
look
you're
in the
saying
window.
they're not going to get in.
No, let them look in the window. But I wanna reflect back on what he said about a big stink bomb in the middle of Michigan. We're putting Michigan in front of MSU. Now listen, when MSU beat Michigan, what happened? MSU jumped in front of Michigan. Am I correct? They jumped in front of Michigan.
Ranked ahead of
They're
them, behind them all season.
Yeah,
And they beat them. And then
they put them in front.
Go in front.
This past Saturday, who won? Who lost?
I know, but
No. I'm gonna get into it. I'll let you talk. Now let me talk.
Go ahead. Let's hear what you gotta say.
Let's hear what I gotta say. Now, they lost. All right, they lost. They lost to Purdue, a team that was not ranked in the top 25, and Michigan won. All right, now boom. Now, all that aside, after that game, right now, who is a better overall team? Who is a better now?
Michigan State is a better overall.
No, they're not a better overall. Look at no. Let me finish talking.
They got a better
overall.
Michigan
is a better.
defense.
They have a better total offense. They have a better total defense. Their defense is not even. Who is MSU? Kenneth Walker. That's it.
No.
That's
their
it.
wide receivers are damn good.
Hey yo, that's it.
Now that's
No. Listen, when they beat Michigan, who stepped up? Who scored every touchdown?
Kenneth Walker.
Is
he not a member of the team?
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. I'm the one scoring all the touchdowns. I'm the one selling all the records. That's Kenneth Walker. Five
Kenneth
touchdowns.
Walker, a member of the Michigan State football team.
And I said, who is MSU? It's Kenneth Walker.
In that game, yes.
So
Yes,
who's Michigan?
Huh?
Michigan Hutchinson?
No, total offense, top 25. Total defense, top 10.
Oh, you mean the offense where the fans want to replace the quarterback?
No, listen, I'm telling you. Look at the numbers. Michigan right now, total offense, right? Hear me out. Total offense is top 25 in all of college football. Their defense is top 10. Michigan State is nowhere near the top 20. They're not even in the top 50 on defense. They're not in the top 50 on defense.
Field, who won?
Listen, Kenneth Walker is MSU. I just told you. You take Kenneth Walker out of the equation.
But you can't take him out.
Huh?
He's a member of the team.
He is a member of the team. The team is Kenneth Walker, but you don't have him. It's not the same MSU.
Okay.
It's not the same offense.
Green Bay Packers, just take away Aaron Rodgers.
No, we talk about numbers.
We did last week.
We did.
And what happened?
You tell me what happened.
They lost. But
Exactly.
He is a member of their team.
Exactly.
You can't just remove people from teams. That's asinine, dude.
Nah, I ain't say remove. I did not say remove from the team. I said who is MSU. I said the team. I said MSU is Kenneth Walker.
One game it was Kenneth Walker. But
for that one game?
If you watch the rest of the season, they have two damn good receivers, and their quarterback is better than Michigan's quarterback.
Listen, the funny thing is when we talk about Michigan State, we talk about Michigan, we talk about they haven't played anyone all year. They haven't played anyone all year. This is going to be their biggest test. At 7-0 going to that game, this is their biggest test of the year. And when they had the biggest test of the year, Peyton Thorne pissed down his leg, 2 interceptions, went 19 for 30, threw for under 200 yards. We said all year, Cade McNamara, he can't pass. He can't pass. He throws for right under 400 yards. Right? Protect the ball. He threw 1 interception. But listen. Total team effort. Total team effort. That's not what MSU had. They had a guy who had to go and score 5 touchdowns to win the game and got no help from nobody else
and you know what?
Except his O-line.
And you had a Michigan team that choked in the fourth quarter.
Hey,
I'm
showing numbers. I'm showing you big numbers right now.
The only issue I have is I don't know if he peed down his leg or not, but he didn't have a great performance. That was the line. I want that cut, Sawyer. I want that cut. But as guys, it's irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant because they both control their own destinies. And if you wanted to go,
actually, Michigan does not.
They don't. Michigan doesn't control their own destiny if they went out.
They have to have Michigan State lose.
No, not when they're ahead in the rankings. If Michigan wins out,
if Michigan State wins out, they're the Big Ten champions. Michigan, if they win out, they're not the Big Ten champions. Because Michigan State, they have the tiebreaker.
Well, you could. All right, you can explain that. I would like to know more. But we got 2 big games, and if guys, if you want to bet it, you know where to go. MyBookie.ag. Yes, use the code Woodward for 100% bonus on that first deposit. You know, you got Michigan State this weekend. You got Michigan and Penn State at a +1. They're laying 1 right now, it looks like. And then you got also Michigan State laying 13 in Maryland. You can go to mybookie.ag. They got that. We got UFCs this weekend. You got Baltimore tomorrow laying 7.5. Whatever you want. You go to mybookie.ag. Hockey overs are always in. Red Wings won last night, +200 before the game. You got to like it. So if you like to bet, you like to gamble, do what we do here at Woodward Sports Network. Go to mybookie.ag. He's Terry Foster. He's Joint Bell. I'm Darren McCarty. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Off and rolling here, Big D Energy, D-Mac, T-Foss, the Juggernaut, Gorilla, Joint Bell in the house. And you know what? See, I could drop the anchor real well. I got Joint giving the Gorilla. Simo's liking it, wanting you to preach and stuff like this. And
you said what?
Simo 313 said, preach, Joint, preach. Give it to him.
Giving
Say
it
all the
raw.
stats and what it is.
I'm
But
giving
at the
it
end
raw.
of the day,
He got that gorilla
both
in
things
him.
can be true.
You know what? Because
Both
there you go.
things-
That
both-
Neil
because let's
stuff,
talk
I'm
about-
so
No,
tired of
both
that.
things can be true.
Oh my God,
Dude,
he says
are
that
you not
every
kidding
damn
that their
show.
offense could be better? What Joyce said is that who's the better team or
The
why
better overall team.
Why there it is, and obviously, yeah, the people on their team, the Kenneth Walker, that's who makes it is. When I think of Michigan State, I think of Kenneth Walker, and then I think of Mel Tucker,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
right? But when I think of Michigan, I think of Jim Harbaugh first. Is that good or bad? I don't think of
No,
really the players.
it's accurate because Jim Harbaugh is the face of that program, and Jim Harbaugh has stuff to prove to himself, to Michigan fans. There's people that want him out if he runs the table, except for losing to Ohio State and Michigan State. Like 10-2 won't be good enough. That's the onus of the big gorilla that he has
my
on
question
his-
is, because this is my question: if you lose every game of the year, but you beat MSU and Ohio State every year, would they be happy with that?
Yeah, I got
No,
That's what I'm saying, like,
no.
I'm
2-10. No, they'll say they are, but no, that's baloney.
Yeah.
But it's not good enough at Michigan because Michigan, you're hired to do two things. You're hired to win the Big Ten. You're hired to beat Ohio
Obviously,
State.
you're not. You're not.
And he has not done it. That's why he's under the hot. That's why he got his salary.
So do you-
listen, this team has totally changed around. Come on now, you have an offense that is operating now, and now we know what we have in the K McNamara. Now we just need to see the consistency because we see that he can throw the ball.
Yeah, but okay, so what's the big? Here's what I see. Why, if that's the case, and you mentioned all the stats about the game he played against Michigan State and stuff like that, what's with J.J. McCarthy? What's the J.J. McCarthy? Is that just to keep him happy so that he doesn't leave?
No,
Yeah,
because
so he
talented.
doesn't transfer.
Right, but he's a talented guy, but he has to wait his turn, and sometimes guys don't want to wait.
But doesn't that? But I guess my question is, doesn't that throw Cade McNamara his timing off, or like you know what I'm saying? Like the more consistency that he plays, and I
does.
understand that.
Not really. You got a guy coming in throwing 4 or 5 passes a game. That's not going to kill you. And I think when they put him in the game against MSU, it was a lot of chatter about Cade McNamara was in the medical tent when he was out there playing, right? But with that being said, Jim Harbaugh even came out and said that we want to get him more acclimated with the offense. We want to implement him into the offense. He's a good player. He's a playmaker. We have to figure out a creative way to be able to get him into the game. They like the kid, and so what do you do with them? If you like the kid, you're going to play him. You got to figure out how to get him on the field. But at the same time, Cade McNamara, he's playing well right now. He's not turning the ball over that much. He's protecting the ball. He's making good decisions, and like the head coach of Northwestern said, he's not getting the credit he deserves because he takes what the defense gives him. He's not going to go out here and force balls into tight windows where he can go drop it off right here for a quick check down 5 yards and get another 3 or 4 off the catch. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, it was times in that MSU game, and I said it. I'm a Cade McNamara. I'm starting to like him a little bit more. But it was times in that games where I felt he should have went for it when he didn't. And I felt times he should have took what the defense gave him instead of going for the deep ball. It was time, and it was at the end of the game. And he went back. He watched film. He knows what plays he should have went for the first down versus going 3rd and 4 and throwing it 30 yards down the field and overthrowing the receiver. Just take what the defense gives you, get the first down. Now we have a fresh set of downs. Now we can move the ball down the field. But overall, if a team that has to beat Ohio State in the Big Ten between MSU or Michigan is going to be Michigan. They're a better team overall. Because what Ohio State lacks, they lack on the defensive side. They're ranked number 47 on the defensive side in total defense. Offensively, they rank number 2. Defensively, we were ranked number 6. Offensively, we were ranked 25. So it's a balance there. It'll be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
How does this play out? You mentioned Terry because you came in and the stink bomb has been dropped in the state. But what does that mean? What do you expect out of both these teams this weekend? Take care of business?
I'm not quite sure if Michigan's going to take care of business. I think they will. The key is Ohio State. The big bad boogeyman in the room is Ohio State. Even though they've looked pedestrian at times, when you start talking about Ohio State is not that good, then all of a sudden they become the big boogeyman again. And until somebody displaces them as the number 1 team in the Big Ten, that's the team that could beat both Michigan and Michigan State, and they will probably go to the Final Four. I mean, they've been there and they've won games, and so that's what I look for. I want to see how these two teams stack up against Ohio State. I don't think Penn State's that good.
Well,
they're solid.
Yeah, they're solid. They're a solid team.
Well, they
all right.
They shot themselves, obviously in the face in that Illinois game and stuff. And when you hear their coach, James Franklin, talk and not even know who they're playing each week and stuff, it makes you wonder what's going on. So the best thing that I like is everything that we've talked all along, right? Control your destiny. Win your games. Do what needs to be done. So they need to get better, and it's all building up for the end of the schedule. So that's, other than that, the interesting thing is that somebody in the chat thread mentioned that because Georgia and Alabama have to play each other probably twice, or whoever wins like that, the way that things could break down if everybody wins, you could have two Big Ten and two SEC teams in the Final Four, but things would have to go utterly correctly.
Do you think so say we went out, right? And say we went out and MSU wins out, but at the end of the year, Michigan's still ahead of MSU. Right? At what point in time do we say, okay, they both went out? When do we put MSU back in front of Michigan? If you say it's a tiebreaker, if they're in front, because the reason that they moved, so the reason they moved them in front real quick, Sawyer, can you play the video real quick on why they jumped in Michigan ahead of MSU?
Let's welcome in Gary Barta, who is the chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. Gary, we're arguing about it. I don't understand it. Michigan State, game was only a week ago. You have Michigan State number 3. Why did Michigan move ahead of them despite losing to them just a week ago?
Well, the arguments were going on in the room, just like I'm listening to you guys go back and forth. A week ago, it was discussed that Michigan might be the more complete team, offensively, defensively, every statistic. Michigan's ahead of Michigan State, but the committee certainly gave Michigan the nod. They were undefeated. They beat Michigan head-to-head. What's different a week later? Michigan won. Michigan State lost. The discussion in the room went back and forth, very similar to what you're doing now, but at the end of the day, we felt as a committee that Michigan was a better team and to be ranked ahead of Michigan State this week. Stay tuned. We get to watch again next week.
That's true, and that was what I wanted to point out. It doesn't take many votes to change the order here. So how close was that voting when you got down to that 6 and 7 spot? How close was it?
There's no tally that's shown across the room. I can just tell you that the debate on this topic lasted a long time. This pairing alone probably took up about a half hour or maybe even longer.
All right, Gary, I know it's early. There will be time to continue to discuss all of these. Wish we had some more time to get into a few more topics, but I'll see you next week. I mean, you had nearly a third of your rankings lose last week, so I'm sure we're going to have some shake-up by the time we speak again next Tuesday night.
Good seeing you guys.
And so, if you look at everything they said is true. If you're doing an eyeball test, if you're looking at the numbers, right now, Michigan statistically is a better team, overall team, right, than MSU, even with that loss, right, even with that loss. And, like I said, they won, MSU lost, so they put them back ahead. You can't.
Here's the thing about Michigan. Michigan always looks better than Michigan State until they're on the same field. Then Michigan State has won 10 out of the last 14. But what we have in this state, here's why. First of all, Michigan cannot leapfrog Michigan State in the Big Ten if they win all their games, because that is numbers speaking. That is head-to-head speaking.
Has it happened
Michigan
before?
can leapfrog Michigan State from the human perception. But in this state, Michigan is always thought to be better than Michigan State, no matter what Michigan State does. It's just the inferiority complex. It's the little brother complex and stuff. So I think it was 1999 or 2001. Michigan and Michigan State both had good seasons. I think they only lost one game. Michigan State beat Michigan because Plaxico Burress, who was a wide receiver for Michigan State, couldn't be stopped. So at the end of the season, they had identical records. Michigan had lost to Michigan State. And Michigan also got to go to the Orange Bowl and Michigan State went to the Citrus Bowl. It wasn't because we thought Michigan was better. We knew that Michigan could bring more fans. The Block M is a powerful, powerful tool, and the Spartan S is like, it's all right. But Michigan always gets the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes I question if they deserve that now.
So it's pretty much Clout and what they bring with them, which goes to the fact of why Cincinnati being 5. So to that thought process, I'm going to take it back to Cincinnati at 5. Do you think that talent-wise and because of their strength of schedule and the team that they are, that's what they're out more so, or to what you're saying because they don't travel well, they don't have the fans, they don't have the economic...
No, they travel well, but they're not Michigan.
They're not Michigan.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but that comes at the end of the day.
That plays a factor.
Plays a factor.
Plays a major factor. So shout out to Jenna. Jenna is here, said good morning, BD. Real quick, Chuck Brewer said, who cares about 1999? Most of these players were in diapers or not born yet. And what we're saying is we're not comparing players or... that's not what we're doing.
No, hell. No, I am.
No, that's not what you're doing. You're giving an example on how Michigan is always looked as the bigger brother because they can bring in more dollars. The big dog because of what they can bring to the table as far as money-wise compared to what Michigan State can bring. And so even if the records are identical and Michigan State beats Michigan, more than likely, Michigan's going to get in. So you can sit up there and say...
Is that ever going to change, or is that just...
No, but how you can sit there and say that...
for a long time.
But like how you can sit there and do that, right, and say that...
I'll sit there...
No. How you can sit and say in 99 or 2000, 2001...
No, I'll go back further back.
No.
Just go back to 1970, 1980.
I want to hit this point. Now, in 2000, when you said that they, even though they felt like MSU might have been a better team, they felt like Michigan was going to bring in the dollars. So what's the difference between then and now? Because you said Michigan's not going to get in if they win out and if MSU wins out.
Because they can't. Because there is a block there. If Michigan wins out, they can't go to the Big Ten title game. They can't be Big Ten champions. That's why. Michigan State stands in the way of them because of that win that you want to take away from. That win is huge from the standpoint of if Michigan State wins out, it goes to the Big Ten title game, and you know what? Would probably go to the Final Four, but I wouldn't guarantee that Michigan State would go to the Final Four because of perception. But if Michigan State loses and Michigan runs the table, Michigan is definitely going to the Final Four.
No, absolutely. It's set up that way with footballs in hand. And, you know, one of the things that you can, if you were talking about, you get all heated up. Sawyer, isn't there a way you can toss the old pigskin around?
Oh, yeah. I know a place or two you can go.
Where's
you can
that,
head on
buddy?
down to the Fowling Warehouse in Hamtramck. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fowling. This game is amazing. There's a couple places down in Indianapolis where I went to school. We went a few times as a fraternity house. So much fun. You can host corporate parties there, team building things. I know we're doing a Woodward sports event there here pretty soon.
Here, I'm going to cut in and say actually tonight between 7 and 11 for $25, the Detroit Sports Media, led by the president, Jennifer Hammond. We're down there tonight doing stuff, raising scholarships for some kids and stuff. I'd seen it this morning. I'll get Ryan to mention it on the bottom line between 2 and 4, but we're going to be down there full in the night.
We love to hear that. And there's also 2 ways to play. $10, unlimited open lanes. Get there when they open, leave when they close, or you can rent a lane for yourself. You can bring your own food. You can be like Joy, can have it Uber Eats in. Pretty sure they have food there as well. And they have over 100 beers, and Neil's favorite, the $2 beer vending machine. Wow. You can't beat that.
Mystery
you put
beer.
$2 in, mystery beer comes out. So it's just a great time. So you can bring food, as I said, do all this stuff, but you can just go on over to the Fowling Warehouse in Hamtramck or go to fowlingwarehouse.com. So we got D-Mac on the desk, T. Foss in the house today, and Joy Bell sitting on the couch. This is Big D Energy. We'll be right back here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here. T. Foss, Joint Bell, D-Mac joining you. Terry, coming through the YouTube tweeter, they're commenting on what a pimp hat that I've got from things back in the day is did you know Jimmy Hoffa?
Right.
You know, you're looking real good. Where people are wondering where does that pimp hat selection, because we see new ones all the time, but do you have a certain spot?
Yeah, I go to Henry the Hatter.
Henry the Hatter.
And,
is he from all
kinds of hats?
Alice in Wonderland?
Have you rode through there?
Alice in Wonderland, the Hatter.
Yeah.
Not Alice in Wonder. It's Henry the Hatter.
Oh, my bad. All
Two locations, Southfield and Eastern Market.
Well, there you go,
so I've
folks.
gone through there.
Southfield and Eastern Market. That's where I've seen Henry the Hatter. Anyway, speaking about Eastern Market, it reminds me of tailgates and Sunday mornings. Well, not this week. The Lions are in Pittsburgh right now. The MyBookie odds are Detroit laying the 9 against the Steelers, coming off a huge win the other night against Monday night against the Bears. Can we win this game, gents? Is this a game that can be won? And that looks, with all the excitement in the room and all the air that just got sucked out of it,
Here is the hope.
Right. We don't know which Lions we're going to get. That's the thing. That's the consistency. We talked about it yesterday. I don't know. Can we win the game? Yeah, we can. We could. But which Lions team is going to show up on Sunday, right? I don't know. I really don't know.
Here's the wild card. Pittsburgh played Monday night, and usually teams that play Monday night struggle when they have to play Sunday. Lions are coming off the bye week, so if nothing else, they should be fresher. And you know, normally those teams get off to a horrendous start, but they get better during the games because they seem like they're fresher, they're healthier. Yeah. And then when you come off a Monday night game, that puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Talk about that, Joint. Coming off of, what is it like playing a Monday night game?
Well, he played for the Lions. They never played on Monday night.
Yeah, but he also played for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He did play for some real teams.
Is it mentally or physically tougher? Is it because the body doesn't have time to heal, or is it just getting the mindset back into the game plan because it has to? You got half the time.
No, it's just a shorter week, and so we'll switch up the schedule. We'll still probably have Tuesday off as far as rest day. Then we'll come in Wednesday, and usually Wednesday is your real long day. They might cut practice down a couple of periods to kind of make sure your legs are fresh. I remember when we had Jim Caldwell, when he came to the Lions, he made sure we were always fresh, and he gave us a story of when he was coaching in Indianapolis. He had a player who was probably the 6th fastest guy on the team, 6th or 7th fastest guy on the team, probably 7th, and he was out for a couple of weeks due to an injury. And when he came back, he was running by all of the fastest guys on the team, and he didn't know how he was running so much faster than the fastest guys on the team. And then he heard the player say, "Oh, he got those fresh legs. He got those fresh legs." Right. And so he made it a valid point to whenever he became a head coach of the team that he was going to have well-rested players. And so it's very important that we're coming back into this game off a bye week, and they just played, so at least we're fresh. And right now the Steelers don't look like the typical Steelers. They don't look like the usual suspects. I mean, they have a lot of missing pieces there. I mean, Big Ben is not big. He's not the old Big Ben. He showed us what the old Big Ben looked like on that last drive to go down and get them in field goal range to win that game against the Bears. But, they're not the same team. And this is an opportunity for us to go down there and hopefully bring a win to this franchise.
Yeah, plus, Big Ben looks like Uncle Festus now. He's just kind of hanging in there. He looks a little better, but he still looks like Uncle Festus.
Yeah. You talk about from the
Adams family, right?
They don't look like no Uncle.
They're not the same Steelers, and I think it's just like you said, being fresh, and I think it's attitude. You expect them to come out. It's seeing if, I guess, as a professional athlete, you don't like to lose, and it gets harder and harder as it keeps compounding. Not that I know a lot about it, but we like to hate, to hate on it. But you got to get out there. So I'm interested to see, because what are they fighting, Terry? Not just talent right, in all aspects, but consistency.
Right.
Because they've shown the flashes. Like, I don't know about you, but if you can make that pass and I see you do that and I see you make a read, and then why can't you do it? And I understand that things might have to be set up perfect for you. This block has to go down. These three guys have to get their block. Where a more talented guy maybe just he could elude something. But isn't it the consistency are we looking for? What?
It's the consistency, and also they're fighting. They don't have confidence in this quarterback. What's he throwing, like 2 yards or a throw or something? He's not going downfield very much, and if he does, it's going to Hockenson. But it appears, and they would never say this, it appears that a coaching staff doesn't have full confidence in their quarterback, which is the most important position on the field. So they're fighting that. They're fighting consistency. They're fighting talent. They're fighting the team. The other, I'm sure at this point, the other team is like, we're not losing these clowns. So even if the other team is having a bad day, we're going to do whatever we can to beat these guys because we're not going to be the first ones to lose to the Lions.
Well, you know what? All that being said, every dog has his day.
Will this dog win a game this year?
You know what, man? And I based off pure emotion for my love for the team, I'm gonna say we got this one. I'm gonna say that every week, even though at the beginning of the year I had us winning 4 games. And right now I don't want to be off by that much. Right? I don't want to be off by that much. So come on, we need 1 or 2 wins, and let's see what happens. Because right now, Neil doesn't want us to win because he wants that draft capital.
Yes.
Because he doesn't see Houston winning another game. We don't know what Miami's going to do. He wants that draft capital. Because what are we playing for now?
But he's got that buffer, though, because a lot of teams have won 2 games, and nobody else has 0 wins. So you can win a game and still get that number 1 pick.
Well, yeah, and here's the one thing, too, listening to Coach Dan Campbell talk yesterday, Taylor Decker, they're going to put him through practice today to see exactly where they're at. I think that's a good thing instead of giving guys different reps and playing it out. Is that today he had said that they're going to go out there and see exactly where he's at. So if we can, if Corey Woods, our imperative Lions beat reporter, down there working hard to find out some of that stuff. But, that's the interesting thing, because if Decker comes back and then Sue goes back to right, do we start to see more continuity? That was the disappointing thing for me, right? Is that at least if Ragnow, Decker, and these guys stayed healthy, you'd say, okay, we'd be forming something. Now it's just it's not there.
We're getting through the season right now. We're getting through the season right now. Bring Taylor Decker back if he's ready. If he's not ready, you sit him down. You don't want to take a chance of him having this injury, and then you're hurting the worse, and then he has to get surgery, and now he's off for a portion of the off season, and he has to fight to get through that. But we don't know. See what he is, and then base your decision off that. But I'm letting you know
that's not the big issue. The big issue is when you bring him back.
Yeah.
Do you play Decker at right tackle or left tackle?
No, left tackle. They've already said that they're gonna put Taylor Decker back at left tackle, and they're gonna move Sewell back to right tackle. And so that's what they're going to do. So that was the issue before, and then they just kind of nipped it in the bud.
I thought they said they're going to evaluate it when they come back.
No, so
you don't keep going back and forth.
Not at all. And that's the whole point, is to see if Decker's there, because and it'll be interesting too, because now we're halfway through the season, 8 games, different things like that, where Sewell's been in there. Does being in the game and playing left help him with right, even though it's different, but he's been in the action? Sorry, what do you got, bud?
Corey, our beat reporter for the Lions, actually sent us an update. So we got a nice video that he made up yesterday after talking to the team.
Awesome.
Bernie.
Happy Tuesday. This is Corey Woods, your Detroit Lions beat reporter of the Woodward Sports Network, checking in with your Detroit Lions update. Yesterday afternoon, Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell spoke to the media for the first time since the bye week, and he had a lot to say about his involvement in the offense. A couple of weeks ago, he did say that he wanted to get more involved with the Lions offense because, in his words, it's been a bit anemic, and the results show that. Here is what Dan Campbell had to say.
I think offensively it's just, I think we need to, we're going to need to find a way to pull the trigger on a couple of these one-on-ones, whether we just design them that way. And it's like, hey man, you got to go win. And we're pushing down the field, or we're just, we're throwing a couple of these things outside to our outside receivers. I think we got to push the issue.
Dan Campbell didn't stop there either. As we all know, Odell Beckham Jr. hit the waiver wire yesterday at 4 p.m., and Dan stated that the Lions were not going to place a claim on him. However, Dan did not rule out adding talent to the roster that he feels can help the Lions win. Here's what he had to say about that.
Anybody that we feel like does upgrade us and is our type of guy, if we really feel like it's a true upgrade or somebody that's worth looking at any of these positions, we'll do it. I mean, Brad's already proven that he'll do that. So, like I say, our eyes are always open for anybody we think can help.
There you heard from Dan Campbell. This is Corey Woods, your Detroit Lions beat reporter with the Woodward Sports Network, checking in with your Detroit Lions update.
Great job, as always, by Corey. And you know what? If you, too, want to be like Corey Woods, looking for his first win down there, reporting for the Detroit Lions, go to coastportland.com. Use WSN20 for 20% off. I got my machete. You can, too. Knives, lamps, do-it-yourselfers. The leaves are coming down. Outside needs to be cleaned up. Don't wait. CoastPortland.com, WSN 20% off. Tell them Big D Energy sent you. T-Foss, Joint Bell, D-Mac. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
I made a decision that was in the best interest based on consulting with my doctors, and I understand that not everybody's going to understand that necessarily. But I respect everybody's opinion. Go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah, the doctors that you consulted with. Dr. Joe Rogan and which other doctors?
Look, I have a lot of admiration for Joe. I definitely talked with about a dozen friends of mine who dealt with COVID, and they all were very helpful in different ways, Joe being one of them.
And if you couldn't see, that was Aaron Rodgers, yes, talking about his COVID and all that schmozzle going on with did he mislead people and stuff like that. And you got to love that's on the Pat McAfee show from yesterday. And you got to love that because obviously Joe Rogan, the podcaster, the MMA guy, Dr. Joe Rogan, whatever else. So there's been a lot of stuff made. But what's your thought of that? Terry, the whole...
I like when you lie and then have to backtrack. I like when you lie and say, well, the media didn't ask the follow-up question. So I like when you lie and then you blame everybody else. That's what I love about this.
Well, isn't that the NFL way? Not even just the quarterback or stuff like this. Did you notice, and this is the thing that blew me away, where, and Joe, you played in the league, but Aaron Rodgers, he did get fined. Just a little over $14,000. For the COVID violation. Oh, by the way, CeeDee Lamb, right? CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver in Dallas, had his shirt untucked. He got fined $20,000 the other day by the NFL. What am I missing here, Joint? What am I missing? And you know it firsthand. We talked about
smack on the wrist.
What?
That's a smack on the wrist. That's a look, 14,000.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying it's how does the public health outweigh your fashion? In the mind, like the NFL.
Joy, how much will you fine if your socks weren't right?
By the NFL, if it's first offense, probably like $5,000 for your first offense. You keep doing it over and over and over. Biggest fine, a guy missed, but that's kind of a guy missed a meeting and was fined. Actually, missed the whole day, so I'm not. He was fined $26,000. I got fined $20,000 before, and it wasn't for lying. It wasn't.
You punched somebody?
No. I just it's so So my thing was a little bit different. So when you're here at home, when you have home games, you can leave like at 4 or 5 in the morning to go home to get in your bed and come back to the team meeting, right, or whatever. And so I did that, and I had a place where I lived where we were playing, and so I went home and came back, and they were like, "Oh, you can't do that on away games. You can only do it at home." But they never said that, and so we just worked it out, and I just paid it, and we never talked about it again. But
so that was a team rule.
It was an unwritten rule because it wasn't in the book. But you have like the team rules where you have.
Damn, you get fined for unwritten rules.
Yeah, unwritten rules.
Wow.
Call that kangaroo court in the dressing room.
Yeah,
But
the
whole fact.
It is. But
so
but you can write you write it off, and so I wrote it off on tax. It went to charity. So.
Well, no, of course it is. And is there a new, did I see that we have a Twitter from Tom Pelissero about the new Aaron Rodgers COVID rules because of all this? I think that's what.
The thing, this is an issue, though. This is an issue that everyone's having, right? He wasn't, he told the half truth, and he bent his words, to make it seem as if he was, as if he was vaccinated, right? And he's not going through the ringer as bad as a Kyrie Irving, who came out and told everyone, "I'm not going to get the vaccine, and I'll deal with the consequences from the public, from the media, from the fans, from the front office, from the team. I'll deal with that." But I'm going to be honest. And that's the issue that people are having with Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't honest. He wasn't.
Right.
And so, completely honest. He told a half truth.
But he would be catching more flack if Green Bay, like Kyrie, said, "Okay, you're not playing any games." That's the issue with Kyrie Irving. Okay, yeah, you didn't take the poke. We're sitting you down for the rest of the year.
Well, that's because, isn't that because the state, where he's playing and stuff like that?
But they could still have him on the roster because you play games in Milwaukee, you play games in Detroit, you play games where he could play. So they basically asked him, either you with us all the 100% or you're not with us 100%. So the Wings with Tyler Bertuzzi, they could have said, "Okay, you're not taking a poke, you can't play in Canada, then you don't play at all." They decided not to do that.
What business decision would that have been?
Well, that's what Brooklyn's doing with Kyrie Irving.
But it's also I understand that, but it's a little bit different because your home state and everything around you or wherever you're playing the NBA, you got a lot more games that you're going to miss.
True, but they could have done that but decided not to.
Well, yeah, but it's right. No, everybody can have that decision, but it's also true. Why didn't they trade Kyrie? Because it goes into politics, and now that the governor's changed or whatever like this, that the mandate could change, and you don't want to trade that play. So now we're getting into sports and politics or intermingling. The bottom line for the new Aaron Rodgers rule, it's pretty much that transparent. It pretty much just says you got to tell the truth, whether it's doing interviews, it addressed that. Doing media interviews, being transparent or something.
And so
like
now
that.
he's at the crib. He's getting better, and he's I'm pretty sure he wants to stay off the line. And he basically said in his interview like when he's done doing this Pat McAfee interview that he's not going to talk about it again. Can you play that video real quick about him being an athlete, and he's going to get back to what he's what he's good at. I'm not an activist is what he was quoted saying. I'm not an activist. I'm a football player. So, that's what I want to get to. Can you run that for us?
That is, Pat. I'm an athlete. I'm not an activist. So I'm going to get back to doing what I do best, and that's playing ball. Like, I shared my opinion. It wasn't one that was come to frivolously. It involved a lot of study and what I felt like was in my best interest for my body. But further comments, I'm going to keep between myself and my doctors, and I don't have any further comments about any of those things after this interview.
All right, dope. There's going to be investigations into the protocols and everything like that. The NFL will have its say. It'll continue to go because you're Aaron Rodgers, but we can't wait to watch you fucking sling the pigskin again, dude.
There you go. And by the way, the Green Bay Packers were fined $300,000.
$300,000.
Yeah. Didn't the Packers knew and the NFL knew that, and the NFL should fine itself, which will never, ever, ever happen.
You know what it is? You know why they fined him $300,000 and fined Aaron Rodgers only $14? It's because the Green Bay Packers knew.
Yeah, and it's probably in the Players Association
and
maximum.
So they're going to say it was your obligation, it was your duty to go and do the research and go through it and do these things, and we had to come and backtrack and do it for you. And so for that, we're going to find you this, and then we're going to slap Aaron Rodgers on the wrist because technically, he's in the wrongful line, but you're the team, you guys control that. But since it's Aaron Rodgers, he's the best player, one of the best players in the NFL, and for sure the best player on that team. And so, what do you do?
But don't you see, that nowadays, and as it came up and reported yesterday, like Nick Chubb, the star running back for the Browns, has COVID. Doesn't it seem like there's more COVID cases popping up with, coming into Sunday where it's affecting teams and players as it did affect Green Bay last week? And is this the norm, Terry? Is this like the new norm?
COVID is not normal.
Right.
What we're going through is not normal. But I think you need to make decisions on what you're going to do. Maybe COVID has taught us a lesson that if that's an issue, you can't treat superstar players differently than the rank and file. But the NFL, the NHL, NBA, if you are a superstar player, you get treated differently.
How did Kyrie get treated differently?
That is an exception. But
That's the exception.
No. But I said, but COVID changes that. COVID now is this monster we have never dealt with, and people are getting, and probably should be treated the same because now we're looking for the welfare of everybody.
Society.
And normally, Kyrie Irving, I think Kyrie Irving thought, I can just get away with this because I can get away with everything. But with COVID, no, you couldn't do it.
No, but he came on head first and took on that storm by telling the truth. Aaron Rodgers didn't do that. And so so it's drastically different on how they both on both of these guys' approach to how they let the rest of the world know what they were doing. Aaron Rodgers came out and said, I forgot the word he used. I've been immunized and I'm not against anyone that's not vaccinated, and making it seem as if he got vaccinated. But in retrospect, he never did, and that's not what Kyrie Irving did. It's not. And so how people can sit here and try to compare the two, they're not the same. It's not the same situation. It's not. One person told you straight up, I'm not getting it. I'm doing what's best for me and my body. And Aaron Rodgers is now saying, I'm going to do what's best for my body. I'm going to go consult my doctors.
Right.
But that wasn't the case at first. Right? That wasn't the case at first. And now the NFL are under fire because now they have to deal with this. Right? They have to deal with it now because it's out to the public now. The public knows. And so now they had a clip where it talks about even if he goes out here and plays great, do you ever think that Aaron Rodgers will ever win MVP again of the National Football League? Do you guys think he'll ever get that again?
No.
Even if he goes out there, wins the Super Bowl, puts stuff.
I think he could, but it would be with a different team.
It'll be with a different team.
You're making the connotation that the NFL will never have him as MVP again.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're saying on the playing politics.
And even when Aaron Rodgers talked about that, I think he said that's a fair assumption. Can you play that clip for us real quick?
You're like, hey, love will cure this thing. How are you not going to hold a grudge to everybody? And do you know that you're probably never going to win an MVP again? That's probably never going to happen, right?
I think that's a legitimate statement.
And it's great to see that. It's great to see that he's, he's taking all this in, and he's still standing in a mental standpoint of where. I'm not gonna let it bring my spirits down because when he comes back, he has to be able to perform. Because the only way that this gets worse if he comes back and he loses, right? And it's funny I say he loses if it's not a team sport. But as you and I both know, that when Aaron Rodgers is not out there on that field, that is a totally different Green Bay Packers, and you saw it this past weekend. You saw it.
Right, and because he went through all this issue, if they lose and he's the starting quarterback, it's going to be he lost it because of distractions. It won't be the Green Bay Packers' losses. Aaron Rodgers blew this for us.
He's a distraction.
Not from the team, but from outside.
But it's not that big. But it's crazy how this isn't as big. Like even now, when it's just now happening, it's big in the media, but it still wasn't on the same level as when Kyrie Irving said that he wasn't going to get the shot. It's not on that level.
But I think that's because of the reaction to it, to what Terry said.
And it's two different leagues. And the Brooklyn Nets said, you are no longer on this team. That's huge.
That's a huge difference.
If the NFL says to Aaron Rodgers, you're no longer, or if the Green Bay Packers said, we're sitting you for the remaining games, you're no longer part of this team, then that becomes huge.
Do you think that this incident at all plays in the decision of if Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay? Or because I've always believed, I think you've believed that this is the last year in Green Bay. Does this have any mix to it? The way, because they didn't really hang him out to dry. They sort of ate it.
They ate it. They knew.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. But there's so when you know that, but it's also too you can react a different way.
This won't affect if he leaves Green Bay or not. Other factors will come into play. Maybe he doesn't want to be in Green Bay anymore. Maybe he's still pissed about Jordan Love and upset about not being able to have personnel decisions, which he claimed before. That's going to decide it. This one, Green Bay was like, hey, we're sticking by our guy. So they gave him no reason to further hate them.
No, they did. But, well, I mean, he looked like he was relaxed. He had his Rise of Skywalker shirt on. I got to give him props to that. But, I mean, it almost looked like he had some vodka sitting there, Terry. Do you think that maybe he had some of our finest if he was drinking it?
Well, if you want to chill Aaron Rodgers, here's what I would recommend.
What was that? The Professor?
There's a new vodka, Gypsy Vodka.
Wow.
It has 50 different formulas, and they have had all kinds of taste tests, and guess what? Gypsy Vodka is always on top. We believe Gypsy Vodka is the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. Gypsy is gluten-free. As I mentioned, Joy can drink it. And corn distilled 6 times.
That was art. That wasn't me.
Using artesian spring water. So they got the clean water in there, too. Support local brothers here from Michigan. I like Michigan products. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. Gypsy Vodka. And, of course, always got to drink responsibly. Don't be a clown out there.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media, or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Welcome back, Big D Energy, D-Mac, Joint Bell, T-Foss. It is coming up on the 12 o'clock hour. As you've seen, we must give away qualifiers to the turkey games. Yes, what am I asking for on our YouTube channel? I'm going to take the 5th person that I see, put in gobble gobble. Let me see gobble gobble in there. The 5th person that I read will qualify for the turkey games promotion. Obviously, the winner is 2 front row tickets to the Lions game on Thanksgiving. And Terry, a turkey, which is even more important.
I think the turkey is the big winner in that whole thing.
Are you speaking of Thanksgiving? Are you guys is turkey a big thing? Like, is turkey more Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter, or is it all?
It is more Thanksgiving, but we still have turkey for Christmas too.
We do.
Except I jokingly call the Christmas turkey, I call it the Christmas goose, even though it's not goose. But
it sounds better.
Huh?
Do you cut it?
It does sound better.
Do you carve it? On Thanksgiving, do you carve the turkey?
Cook it and carve it, young man.
Do you on the smoker? Do you do a
I'm smoking the turkey this year to be my 3rd year out of the last 4.
Okay, is this so? Last time I talked to your beautiful wife, she said that it's been dry the past couple of years. Have you got it down? Have you practiced it at all this year?
Yes, I put the little butter inside the breast so it doesn't dry. I have a special seasoning that I got from Houston, Texas. This year it's going to be something different. So
that Houston seasoning.
I stuffed the turkey with apples, onions, peppers and stuff, so you get that extra flavor in there. So yeah, I got it down pat now.
Is there other than like turkey or something? Is there a special Thanksgiving? Like, is there the one thing on Thanksgiving that you look forward to? So, is it like, are you guys pumpkin pie guys or sweet potato pie guys? Or
I'm sweet potato, but so it's weird. So this year, since we have COVID, my mother's in the process of moving to Florida, but I told her the only way that I will agree to this is if you come back for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So she agreed to come back for Christmas, and her and my dad. And so we have this thing that we do for my family. Every other year we have a family reunion, which we go to either St. Louis or they come here. Every other year we do Thanksgiving as a family in that city, and everybody in the family will bring a dish. And so that's every other year. And so one dish that I always look forward to is my aunt. She would make this lasagna spaghetti, because I don't eat spaghetti. I hate spaghetti. Thanks a lot, Dad. Made it for us every day growing up, and now I just
You don't like black spaghetti either?
I don't like spaghetti at all.
Oh, wow.
But this is the only spaghetti that I would eat. Is she makes this lasagna spaghetti with all these different cheeses and it's pepperonis in there and different types of stuff. And I will only eat that. Now I can't eat it now because I don't eat meat, but that's one thing I will always look forward to. And then when they do the soul food, I will always look forward to like the yams, the mac and cheese. I will always look forward to like the best barbecue I've had is my dad's barbecue. They perfected it. My mother seasons it. She has a certain seasoning that she uses on it. Perfected it. He'll take it. He'll grill it on a grill, and right before it's done, he takes it off and he bakes it the rest of the time. Takes it out, it's falling off the bone. We make a homemade barbecue sauce. It's not something that you should have on Thanksgiving, but it's so good. I make them make it every Thanksgiving. You shouldn't have it on Thanksgiving, but I need it every Thanksgiving.
You know mine?
Yeah, we have like a soul food fest. We have greens, macaroni and cheese, and there is a great divide in this country, and maybe Joyke's going to dispute this, but
Cabbage.
White people have pumpkin pie and black people sweet potato pie.
I like them both.
It is that is a big discrepancy that we have because
do you do mashed potatoes?
Yes.
So I never in my life had mashed potatoes for
Scallop
Thanksgiving.
potatoes.
We didn't have
potatoes. I look
no.
forward to
On Thanksgiving.
For Thanksgiving,
no.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I wouldn't either, but we never. It's not on the menu. It's replaced by macaroni and cheese. Yeah. And ours has to be the elbow macaroni and cheese. So
yeah, the elbow. Yeah, the elbow boys.
Yeah, elbow. For some reason, the cheese just sticks to it. I'll even better. Speaking of cheese, college basketball last night, guys. The Tom Izzo doing what he does with the Spartans.
We talking food now. My stomach is growling. We're talking food. Now my stomach is growling.
That's it. I got to get you out because it's lunchtime. That's it, baby. You get talking food. But did you tune in to the Sparties Kansas game last night? Obviously, Kansas winning 87-74. But in true Tom Izzo fashion, playing top teams right out of the gate. That has always said that.
Losing.
That's
what they do.
Right? Which, to his argument, makes them better in the long run. But do you put too much into this? And do you put too much into that game as Michigan number 6 hosts Buffalo tonight at the Chrysler Center?
Yes, you put a lot more stock in this because Tom Izzo doesn't mind taking early season losses because he knows his team, for the most part, would do well in the Big Ten, and they're going to get into the NCAA tournament with a high seed. And he wants to have those tough games underneath his belt. It makes him a better coach. It puts his team under stress, and he likes that. I mean, like Michigan shouldn't be under stress at any point against Buffalo. They should, you may have a couple minutes where it's a little bit rough, but for the most part, you're going to truck them. Tom Izzo knows if he plays Kansas, Duke, North Carolina, there's going to be a lot of stress put on his team that he hopes helps them in February, March, and April.
So is that just a, let me ask you, Joe, is that just a coaching, different way to coach than what Juwan Howard's doing out of Michigan? And obviously we know the Michigan program, but I mean, is that just the tactics? Because the consistency of Tom Izzo's always done that. Is the Michigan team set up because they don't need it that way, and Juwan Howard coaches differently, or what do you expect?
I don't think they coach differently. What I think it is just how they do things there. Because even when I played at Wayne State University, we would play Michigan in basketball for the first game of the year. We'll play them at the Chrysler Arena. This year, we actually played Michigan. I think about a week or so ago at our new arena at Wayne State, where the Pistons G League play, and so. I think that's just how they do things. And I think that's how you should do things. Come off, play teams, see who you are as a team, work on your team chemistry, because you're going to have some guys on the team that might not play with a few other guys here and there, and that's going to work. It's going to help you out in the long run, but come out the gate and getting smacked, how does that make you better as a team? Does that help your confidence, or are you just playing the best off the gate?
Like I said, it makes you sharper because you're not going to sleepwalk through a game. I used to talk to Jimmy King a lot, who played on the Fab Five, and he would admit that they're playing a MAC team or something like they're just okay. We're just here to do our thing, and they would sleepwalk. But if they're going to play Duke, they're like, okay, we got to be up for this one. And but I think the thing with Tom Izzo, he knows he can get in the tournament with a 21-13 record. Other programs, like maybe Northwestern or Penn State, if they're 21-13, they can't get in. So we're not going to play these tough schedules. Tom Izzo knows, because his program is so well respected, that they can get into the tournament with a subpar record.
That's such a great point, right? And knowing your team, and I would look at it like fighting or whatever like that. If you're gonna get in the ring, you want to sort of get hit to get into the fight, or body checking, or to get the rust off. Joink always says too is that the first real hit or the first practice or whatever you get in there, it's always nice to feel it before you have to feel it for real. So maybe it's just the different, and that's worked, but that's a perfect. I never thought of it that way, Terry, where great coaches go in and say, what can I get away with? Like, right. How can I push my team enough and know that I can still get in with 13 losses, whereas, like you said, another team, we can't lose double-digit losses because we don't get the respect.
Right.
What are the expectations for Michigan basketball this year, Joint?
Come off of last year?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a team that's coming off of last year where they wasn't even expected to be in the top 10, and they came and they win it. They win the Big Ten. They go on a nice run, end up losing to UCLA. But this year, I want them to kind of build on what they had last year. I want them to build on it. I think they should go back and repeat. They should repeat for sure, and see what they do in the tournament. I mean, they're good coaching. I love the mentality that he brings to this team, because honestly, wherever your mind go, your body will follow. And what he's instilling in these kids with that mentality of we're not going to take nothing from nobody, I love it. I love it.
Here's what should happen with Michigan. They should win the Big Ten. I'm never going to say they should win the Big Ten tournament, because a lot of times that's based on luck and teams getting hot. But they should win the Big Ten, and they should, at the end of the year, they should be a top 5 team. They got the talent. A lot of these guys are coming back. The only thing that's going to be a problem with them is last year teams didn't look at Michigan as like, okay, they're the big dogs. Now they're the hunted. So teams are going to play better against them, and maybe somebody's going to pull off an upset that you're kind of surprised by, because you have already proven that you are at least a top 5 team in the nation. And I think they will achieve that, and somebody is going to have their Final Four by beating Michigan, because they are so good and they are so respected in basketball.
That's That's such a great point. And you look around and you say, you look at the two coaches that we have in Michigan and Michigan State, and both those programs, when we look at the basketball, is if you're a Michigan fan or a Michigan State fan, you got to like it. You got to like who's running your team when it comes to the basketball. So it doesn't matter if you're hot or if you're cold, does it, Joy?
It doesn't matter if you're hot and cold. You know why? Because that temperature is dropping outside.
Ooh.
But we can always heat up that inside. They started a new career in an industry that's always essential. And what's more essential than the cooling and heating industry? To learn more today, go to northwestern.tech.edu. I'm Joyke Bell. That's Darren McCarty. That's T. Foss. You got Fish on the phone, texting somebody in the fishbowl. You have Sawyer over here on the ones and two. This is Big D Energy. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back to Big D Energy, D-Mac, T-Foss, Joint Bell in the house. Congratulations to David Mencher. Gobble, and I appreciate it. I had to go back and read which one was the fifth one I could read. You guys are so good. So Fish, I got his name down. Fish will reach out. Congratulations on joining qualification for the Turkey Games.
Email me, turkeygames2021@gmail.com.
David Mencher, email Fish at turkeygames.
Yeah, turkeygames2021@gmail.com.
2021
Try to make it easy as possible.
Right on. I'll put that in there. Also, too, on the YouTube, on the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and if you're listening on the radio, 93.5, 99.1, and 94.7 HD2. Thanks for joining us. This is usually on the Wednesday when we do Pucking Around, but we've got to call an audible because we, in talking things out, the transparency, when Joint does Ballin' with Bell, which is coming up tomorrow during the show, right, because he can break down formations and you can sort of visualize of what he's talking about. With the game of hockey, it's a little too fast. So I'm not taking it out, but what I'm doing is just to be fair to the listening audience is at 1 o'clock when we sign off, I'll be doing a little extra. We're going to do it Wednesdays at the end, a little extra 5 minutes. Yeah. I'll do Pucking Around. Today's Tyler Bertuzzi. That way, if you're listening on the radio and you go home on the YouTube, we'll put it up there. And then everybody, we appreciate all you YouTubers helping us out here. And we're going to put it there. But Ballin' with Bell will be in this time slot tomorrow. Do you know what you're going to be breaking down tomorrow, Joint?
No, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I tried, you guys. I tried, but you know what's not a surprise out there? The Red Wings. Yes, they won last night, which makes it 3 in a row.
That was a surprise.
You were surprised or you weren't?
No, you were surprised.
I was a little surprised. I was happy because big effort. Edmonton coming in, obviously. Nemesnikov scored a beautiful goal. Outracing the defenseman down the side. Edmonton did what they did. We got up a couple goals, and Connor McDavid decided to make it, close. First shift of the third, but the boys were able to hold on. Even the captain was back, Dylan Larkin, and it's like I said, it was nice because, as you can see for our radio audience, the goaltender, let's just say for the Edmonton Oilers, pulled his best Dominic Hasek. That is not a compliment when handling the puck, Terry. Because we all know he couldn't shoot the puck with a wet noodle. But the captain being out, welcome back. Big goal there to make it 4-2 Red Wings final. But you got to like what you're seeing with this team as far as the effort. That was as much of a 60-minute game playing against the 9-1 Edmonton team. And I don't know if you guys watched the game or not last night, but that's the consistency and that's the effort and scoring goals again, playing against teams that we wanted. The really cool thing, obviously, was Uncle Kenny Holland, who former GM was in, and he did an interview because he was responsible of drafting all of myself and Ozzy and trading for Drapes and Maltz. So he's sort of like Uncle Kenny. But there's a great spot that him and Chris Osgood, if you get a chance to go on Bally Sports, but there's a tweet that's put up is Chris Osgood asked, what's your favorite moment as a Red Wing? And Ken Holland said, I have 4 favorite moments, and that would be all the 4 cups being a part of. But Terry, what did that game, and it's early, beginning of November, but with this Red Wings team, from your perspective, not only just last night, but what do you see in this squad?
Normally, if a home team beats a road team that's good, I kind of say sometimes, so what? Because I think good teams let up sometimes. But last night was different. I thought the Red Wings showed great energy, and Edmonton wasn't on game 4 of a 5-game trip. That's when you usually get them because they're a little bit sluggish. They want to go home. But this is the first game of their 4 or 5-game trip. So to me, that impresses me more that the Wings were able to get them on the first game of a long road trip, because usually the quality of play diminishes as you keep going. I'm impressed by the Wings, and earlier in the season when they were winning all these home games, I wanted to see what they look like on the road. And yeah, it's been uneven, but they have also shown the propensity on the road to play well too. So that impressed me.
Even more so is watching that game, and this is a 3-game win streak, but it started in Buffalo where they were losing and to be down 2 goals, and to see, the imperativeness, and I'm going to go more to the spark plug, and I'm going to focus on him after and pucking around, but Tyler Bertuzzi and what he really brings to this team. In that Buffalo game, he was able to spark him back. He tied it up with pretty much a nifty stick handling exhibition to score, and Mo Seider was able to get his first goal in overtime. But you see how this team plays hard for each other. A guy who'd been in and out of the lineup, Philip Hronek, who we've been talking about as one of the young guys that had been here for a few years. Well, him and Nick Leddy did one heck of a job on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl last night. And when you hold the best scorer in the league to a point, to a goal and a couple points and stuff like that, and are able to win, that's a victory in itself. So the key things they did last night is their PK was better. I think Alex Nedeljkovic, the goaltender, is starting to come into his own, and Trevor Thompson caught up with him after the game. And here's a little verbiage from the goalie, Nedeljkovic.
Well, that one will get the old heart pumping, Keats, that's for sure. Alex, just if you can put into words how big a win this is for your team and how it feels to come away with this one tonight.
It's awesome. It's a great confidence boost. It's a good team over there, a lot of firepower, great power play, and PK was on it tonight. We shut him down good. Gave him a few goals there and made it interesting, but we found a way to get it done, and a win on home ice is always special.
How frantic are those final few seconds when they've got the extra man out there pushing like they can?
No, we did a great job keeping them to the outside. They didn't get anything. They had that little scrum near the end there, but we were doing a great job sacrificing bodies, blocking shots all night. It was awesome.
What was the biggest key to success in your mind here tonight?
We just had to skate the whole, start to finish, not let up, not give them any space. Like I said, that's a skilled group over there. They can do a lot with hardly any room. So we did a good job limiting their time and their space and making them turn pucks over.
You guys opened the scoring. You had a 3-0 lead. You're able to play with the lead all night long. How much did that figure into the final result?
It's so much easier playing with the lead. You don't have to press. You can play the right way the whole game. You're not cheating for offense, and it's just more fun. It's always more exciting. Everybody plays a little bit more relaxed and at ease. We're not gripping our sticks trying to put a puck in the net, and it just makes the game a lot easier.
And on a personal note, what does a win like this feel like for you here in this building in your first year as a Wing?
Feels great. I've been looking for one for a few weeks now, so it's been awesome to get it done. There's some special fans here, and we got a lot more winning to do this year.
Congrats on a big win here tonight. Thanks for this, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, John, there you go. Alex Nedeljkovic with a big win here tonight as the Wings down the Oilers here on home ice.
The most impressive thing, and this is what you need, is that confidence in the goalie. Now, this is a guy that gave up 7 goals in the opening game against Tampa Bay, and when you do that, and just looking at his stats of the goals against is under 3. That'll keep coming down. But at a 914 save percentage, that means he's been stopping a lot of pucks. And it's nice to see him finally get comfortable, as I said, finally get the win. But one of the assets is that, I might have to focus on next week or soon is the 1-2 combo in Thomas Greiss and Alex Nedeljkovic, and how important that is for the goalie like he was last night to come up with that save when he needs to make that save. So my 10,000-foot view is it's inconsistent, right? They're battling consistency, Terry,
Right.
but that's the youth of it. But they got the pieces that it looks like they're coming into play, and he mentioned it, right? The difference this year, and I'll say it all along, is they have a team that can skate with anybody in this league on all defense, forward, move the puck and stuff like that. When you have the goalie talking about it, and so it's just ebbs and flows, and now it doesn't get any easier. Tomorrow night they got Alexander Ovechkin, who just tied Brett Hull at 714 goals.
Right. Here is a word I did not think I would use with this year's Red Wings: grit. They got a little grit to them. They'll smack you in the face, and also they block a lot of pucks.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's a special skill, but
That
some
is-
teams
no, that-
just don't do it.
What do they call sabermetrics or whatever? No, that's a huge stat. And we played that a few weeks ago, where there was the one shift and as loud as LCA because fans appreciate the effort, but there was like 6-8 block shots in one shift. But that's just commitment for the guy next to you and doing whatever it takes. And that's locker room. That's locker room. When you see that, it doesn't matter. You don't need guys hanging out and talking and, he's buddies with him. We might not even talk, but you know that when you look at me, and I know that you're going to put your face in front of that to win a game, and you know that I'm going to do the same thing, and it's just that code. In the hockey locker room, there was an adage, and I think in junior, the coach actually did. He brought a rope in. And he handed the rope, and everybody had to hold on to the rope. And he said, everybody ropes, everybody rides, right? So everybody's hanging on, everybody in that team's hanging on to the rope. So if you're hanging on to the rope, you got to do whatever it is. And that's how you build championships, because that doesn't go away, right? That does not go away. What is the equivalent? Because there's 20 guys, 23 guys in a locker room. It's a little bit easier because less players than a 55 in offense and defense, but what is the true of locker rooms you've been in, right, that you guys are all sort of on the same page no matter where you come from? You felt that? Like 14.
I would say 14, but I would even say more so than that. 2011, when I was on the Saints with Drew Brees during the lockout, and him alone putting together. I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure he had other guys on the team, but him taking that initial approach of renting out the hotel, reaching out to all the players, sending out emails. We're staying at this hotel here. I'm taking care of all the rooms, and I'm putting together the whole OTAs, all the plays. We're gonna go through the playbook, and he put together this whole thing for the whole offseason program. And when the season got started, you can tell how close the team was and how much they were willing to play for this guy because of everything he was willing to put on the line. He put his checkbook where his mouth was. He took care of all the guys. Not only did he get the hotel rooms, but he also paid for food. Made sure all the guys ate, like the younger guys who was on practice squad, like myself, who I wasn't getting paid that much money, so I don't want to spend my money going out to eat every day.
And you hungry?
Yeah, you hungry. You're training, you're working out, and then they also, they took care of breakfast, made sure we had breakfast. And if we left on the weekend, just let me know so I can, cancel your room, and then I'll rebook it for you on Monday when you come back. And so it's things like that that team did that made the team really, really close and cohesive throughout that entire year. And they went to the second round of the playoffs that year, and they lost a close nail biter. I think they lost to the 49ers that year in the second round. It was like my last game there in New Orleans was going into the last game of the season when I came to the Lions. Was that the Matt Flynn game and the Green Bay in 2011. The year they went to the playoffs. So yeah, that was my first game here in Detroit. My last game there, leaving New Orleans. But that team was close. The 2014 team was close as well. And so those type of teams were, and the ironic thing about those two teams is at the beginning of the year, we all had a team meeting. And while I was in New Orleans, we said we wasn't going to lose any games at home and win, 50% of the games on the road. And then when I was here in Detroit, we said we wasn't going to lose any games at home and win 50% of the games on the road. That's 2014 year. And both years, we made some noise.
And so it goes to locker room continuity and everything else. So it doesn't matter how you're going to block shots. You're going to do whatever it takes to win for your guys. You still need your haircut, fellas. And let's be honest, we like simple stuff. Football 5 days a week, 6, 7, we'd take it. Things uncomplicated like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. You walk in, you sign in, you sit down, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. They got TVs in all the mirrors, too, so you can see how great job the young ladies doing, and also watch your favorite game. Get to Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. I'm D-Mac, he's T. Foss, he's Joink Bell. We're Big D Energy. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here on Woodward Sports Network. Yeah, we're just talking about continuity in the dressing room. My question, let me follow up with that, Joint, is because the one thing is where you relate back, but you look at the age in the room, right? And you bring up a guy like Drew Brees, and that's sort of the dressing room where I walked into with the older guys. Well, this Red Wing team has a bunch of younger guys, but they're learning and leading together and finding this all out because they really don't have that old guy on the team, which is cool. You look around to the other teams. I think, tonight, Pistons and the Rockets, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, the 1-2 of the draft conversation, stuff like this, the continuity. I think that it goes down, transitions into, the Detroit Pistons obviously struggling, not winning games, but is this a team that has the future because of three guys that can't get into the bar, Terry?
Yeah, that is a problem. Your leader is a young guy, and he doesn't know the league yet. He's been injured. He's been out of the locker room. So there is something missing there. So what they need is Cade Cunningham to be not only healthy and playing, but to be in the locker room, to understand what it takes to be a leader. Isaiah Thomas, when he was here, his very first game, he scored 32 points. So you think everything is great. But he still had to learn how to lead men. And he said he felt uncomfortable telling 30-year-old guys what to do. And so that was a transition from him. I'm sure Cade Cunningham is going through the same thing because he's trying to, what is this league all about? I don't know yet. But I'm going to have to learn.
Who was Isaiah's guy back in the day that gave... Did he have a mentor, or did he have somebody that...
He did. It was Will Robinson.
Okay.
Will Robinson was an old-time coach. He coached at Illinois State. He coached in the NBA a little bit, but he was a mentor. And funny you should mention that because people always ask me, well, how come Isaiah Thomas didn't average 26 to 27 points a game? I'll tell you why. Will Robinson. If Isaiah started just jacking up shots and scoring 30, 35 points, Will Robinson was on his case. And he'd always, he calls everybody champ because he can't remember people's names. So he would say to Isaiah, champ, your job is not to look good. Your job is to make all these other guys look good. So Isaiah would, his assists would go up and he'd get 21, 22 points rather than 28. But the thing about Isaiah is he didn't come to Detroit to play basketball. He came here to win championships. So when he talked to Will Robinson, he said, if you want to win championships, you're the lead guard. You got to lead all these guys and make sure if normally he would average 10 points a game, he's going to average 14 points a game under your tutelage. So that was his mentor.
So that's very important. So I remember I was watching the game, and the Warriors had a close game against, I think it was the Lakers this year, and you had a lot of young guys on the Warriors team, and the game was close. And I remember Draymond Green grabbed the guys, and at his interview after the game was it kind of set home to me, because this is what these veteran guys kind of bring to the team. And, you know, we really don't have that here, right? And like you said, we really don't have that on the Red Wings, but right now they're playing these tough games, and they're playing hard. But one thing he said that kind of stuck out to me was that these young guys, you know, sometimes they might not know what to do when they get in this type of position. And so us veterans, you know, me and the older guys, we have to take these guys, put them on our back, and show them this is how you get through this type of game. This is how you win these type of games. You know, Draymond Green, he's a veteran now. You know, he's a vet. You know, he's been in the league for, you know, 8, 9, 10 years now. So he's a vet now. He's put in the work. He's solidified. He has championships. And so these young guys are looking at that body of work and saying, this guy has been there. Let's follow. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see what they're doing. And they end up winning that game. And like that type of leadership is going to help them out down the road, right? That type of leadership. These young guys seeing them do it and say, oh, okay, this is how they're doing it.
Right, and even though Draymond Green is still a young man, relatively speaking, he's basically a 40-year-old man, even when he came into the league, because he did silly things, but Draymond Green understood the league, understood how to win, and so he would settle guys down. And if you look at the Pistons rosters over the years when they won championships, they had older guys where you're like, what is he even on the roster for? And I'm talking about like David Greenwood, guys like that, just guys that really didn't play much. But when the game was over, he would explain what they did right, what they did wrong. And sometimes you just need somebody to settle you down. Because when you're a young man, you're like, what happened today? Man, we lost by 50. And Mark Aguirre always used to say, who played for the Pistons back then, he said, when we had a really bad game, we had to settle everybody down and explain. No matter how good you are, you're going to spit out a bad one now and then. You don't know when it's coming. You don't know why it's coming. And even when it's happening, you're like, we can't figure this out. But our job as veterans after the game was to settle everybody down, say, this is what happens in this sport. Next time, we'll know what to do when we're in this situation again. And that's what the older guys did.
So would you look at this and say that would whether it's the Will Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, or is that Dwayne Casey that guy for Cade Cunningham, or is there a veteran that they need to get, or is there a guy on the roster that can show? Because he's so mature, right? Like Cade's a mature, and it seems like he will pick things up and leadership comes naturally. But he's also one to say, I don't know everything. Who can he learn from? Who's going to be that guy? Is it Dwayne Casey that guy to mold him to that?
He's going to have to do that. But I think a lot of times it's better if you have a veteran player, because the coach and the players don't hang out often.
No,
but you might be with that 31-year-old veteran. Maybe you're at the bar, or you're having dinner, or you're playing, or you're bowling, or something like that.
Yep, all that.
You're not gonna do that with a coach.
No, it's sort of having a different ear, like of the professor,
Right.
but also too having your tutor, right? You having your tutor that's your classmate or somebody else that can relay, understand. This is what's trying to be said. This is a different thing. I just look back because, you know, in our locker room it was a bit different, but you could see the Stevies and like Shanny's and Nick and them all learning sort of together, but it was more like the collective, and everybody sort of led in a different way, some guy by example. Then when everything needed to be, like you said, at the end of the day, if there needed that things weren't going well or whatever, then Eisen would stand up and everybody shut up, and then we'd figure it out, right? Until then, because what happens with great teams, right, when you have great players, is that if this one's not going, this one is. And then it hides the problem that may come out, because sometimes this one's not going, this player's not going, and this player's not going, and then it all comes to a head, and you don't know how to fix it if you don't know, where the issue is. That's where the experience is, because that's where, in the heat of the moment, right, when the lights get the brightest, everything calms down. And when you can calm down as a team and go do what you're supposed to do to a man, that's when you're successful. So I'd be interested to look to see who that guy, we see that, like I look at the Red Wings, you saw it, Zetterberg and Datsuk, the Euro twins together, stuff like this. There's always sort of to that point that there's always a mentor. I always ask Fred Jackson, what did he teach you today? That's one of the things.
And for you, though, was that Steve Eiserman?
Yeah, it was all of them. It was a lot of them. It was more Drapes, but the Eiserman, right? And our room, it was just, you just follow somebody around. Go follow around a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah, so for me, so when I first got in the league, so it was Fred Jackson. I remember he would he was a big bro for us. So I remember when I first got there, and before I was about to sign my lease, we were moving out of the hotel, and I didn't have a car there yet. And so he gave me one of his cars. And he said, "Yeah, just take that, move your stuff out, and I'll get it from you later." So a day go by, I called and said, "Hey, you need your car back?" He said, "No, you good, just keep it." Day 2, I said, "You want me to bring it back?" He said, "No, keep it." Third day, and I can see he said, "No, just keep it." Like he's getting a little agitated now. So the 4th day I called, I said, "Listen, do you want your car back?" He said, "Listen, when I want my car back, I will call you. Don't call me about this car no more." and so that's the type of guy he was. And so, he's one of the great guys I was able to hang around, who kind of looked out. J.C. Harrison, who I played with him in the Eagles. I think you might remember him. He played. He's from Kalamazoo, played with the Browns for a while. I think he had the rushing record there, broke that. And that's a guy that he also played here in Detroit. And so that was another guy that I was good friends with as a rookie coming in the game. He was, teaching me the game, just, aside from football, but also like you said, these are the guys that you're going to hang with outside of the locker room. So I can't go to Deuce Staley and like, "Hey, yo, man, come have dinner with us." He's the coach. He's not about to, he would. The coaches do hang out with the players. Like, we might have dinner tonight, but for the most part, like as far as spitting game, like J.C. Harrison would spit game, Fred Jackson would spit game to me, and there's a lot of other guys who will sit down and just chop it up. So it's important, man. That's crucial to have when you're coming into the NFL, because it can help you from making mistakes. And so you watch the guys who are successful, who's done it, and they might not be that big household name, but they've been in the game for a long time and they know what they're talking about.
It's a guy on the end of the bat, the guy that's seen it all. Why are the goaltenders always end up as analysts and stuff? The guys who watch the game, stuff like that. The guy on the end of the bench that doesn't play the minutes has so much more of that responsibility. I mentioned the Lions and the Steelers are playing this week. Yes, Detroit Lions pregame on Woodward Sports. Woodward Sports Live for Lions pregame with our host, Jose Cuervo at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. Yes, 11 a.m. to 1. Join Braylon Edwards, Ryan Romani, Maz, Jade from WRIF, Kennedy, and more as we host pregame live on Woodward Sports and 101.1 The Riff. Then, after the Lions win this game, you can listen to Stick and Anson. Yes, at the 2-minute warning watch party after every Lions game, sponsored by Jimmy Bean. Yes, at the Brass Rail on Adams and Woodward, straight downtown. Phenomenal pizza pie at that place, that is for sure. They start live streaming right at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game to get the crowd reactions, DJs, drinks, Woodward VIP section with food and more. Make sure you stop by after every Lions game at the Brass Rail in Detroit. Big D Energy. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Welcome back, Big D Energy, T Foss, D Mac, Joint Bell. Whether you're joining us on the YouTube, the Twitter, the TikTok, the Instagram, or you're listening on 93.5, 99.1, or 94.7 HD2, welcome in. We were just talking about leadership and different things like that. One of the things that we won't have to worry about as Lions fans is the NFL playoff picture, but I know everybody's into fantasy and we all have our second team. So going into week 10, does it seem, let me ask you guys, right? Now we got 18 weeks, 18 or 19 weeks. They had two more. They had another week.
It's 2
18
buys,
weeks.
isn't it?
18 weeks.
Yeah, 18 weeks, 17
Does this
games.
season feel halfway through? Does it feel, because we're 0-8 in Detroit, it's a lot longer? How's this football season feel to you, Terry? Because to me personally, it's gone quick.
To a point to where you're like, you get into this grind mode, and the weeks start to run into each other. So it's running by. Then we're going to look up, and it's going to be week 18, and we're going to be playing Green Bay. And we're like, dang, the season's over already? Already. And it is how it happens. And this is the time where you put your head down, you just go.
Yeah, from my standpoint, it feels the same. For me, the NFL season is like half of it you're going to play in decent weather. It might rain now and then half of it or a quarter of it you're going to play in the cold, unless you're a dome team. So there's two different seasons, two different mentalities you have to have, and sometimes you really have to adjust as a team. Okay, I'm going to play on the carpet. It's going to be 72 degrees, and then 3 weeks later it's going to be 20 degrees. I'm in Chicago and that wind is blowing. How do you handle that? And some guys just don't handle it different. It's like in hockey, you're going to get the same rink,
but the ice is different in different places.
It's different, but for the most part, you're not going to go one spot and it's going to be 80 degrees in the building. You're going to go to another spot and it'll be 10 degrees, unless you're playing junior hockey or something like that.
Right. No, so I guess that sort of comes down to it, and that would be where decisions are made as you get older in your career, right? You know what I'm saying? Do guys think about that to extend the duration of their career, whether it's going to a dome team, going down south?
So it's what, that dome still doesn't make a difference, more so than what you're playing on, right? You want to go to a team where they practice on grass, because understand, you're only going to be at the game stadium once every other week, or 8 times or 10 times a year. And if you have home field advantage, you might play at home another 1 or 2 games. So you're really only playing on that field 10, 11 times a year, right? But when you're practicing, and I didn't understand this when I was younger. So like I said, Fred Jackson would tell me, like, I like practicing outside more so than inside. I'm like, man, it's cold out here. He said, yeah, but the grass is softer than the turf. Like when the grass gets hard, then we can go back inside. He said, but you don't notice right now, but you will. And I never noticed how my legs would feel versus playing on a practice field that's field turf versus one that's grass. And so I got a little bit older in my career, I was starting to notice that when I came back in from practice on the turf, my knees would ache a little bit more, my ankles would ache, lower back would ache a little bit more. You're out there for 2.5, 3 hours running around on that field turf, and I never understood why. And so when we go on the grass and I come back in, we're probably on that grass for 3 hours, and I have no aches, no pains, nothing. And I was like, this is what he was talking about. It would be times we'll have a walkthrough, and my body is more sore after the walkthrough than the practice on the grass, than the walkthrough on the turf. And that's when I noticed that, you know what? Yeah, I'd rather practice on that grass and play on the grass if need be. Now the turf is faster, so you want to be a little bit faster. It's a little bit harder, so it doesn't give as much, so you can run a little bit faster. But for the most part, I like the grass.
All right. So, question: what's your favorite condition as far as the weather, the indoor, outdoor? What type of turf? If Joint Bell had
65 degrees.
What I want to play on? What?
65 degrees.
65 degrees, grass.
Yep, sunny.
Sunny. And what's the worst to play on? Like, what is this?
When it's cold, when it's below sub-freezing temperatures and it's not snowing outside, it's just cold and hard. Those are the Green Bay. My first year here at Green Bay, I didn't even play in the game. That was the coldest game I ever been a part of. I don't know if it was because I wasn't playing, but I remember Sam Gass at that time was our running back coach. He came outside with just a pair of khakis, a polo shirt on, and some shades and his shoes. That's all he had on. And I said, so you're not going to put on a sweatshirt or nothing? You just going, just like that? He said, it's all mental. It's all mental. Get your mind. You know, he's an old school player. You know, he played, got a Super Bowl. Like he's that tough guy. So we go out there, and I got on 2 sweatshirts. I got on the rain, the warm jacket. I have on 2 pair of pants, 2 pair of socks, the shoes, and I'm sitting on a heated bench with my feet inside of the thing that's blowing out the hot air. No. And so we go back in at halftime. And we come back out. He has on 2 sweatshirts. He has on long johns. And I said, Coach, I thought it was a mindset. He said, no, I'm not doing the 2 halves.
He did the whole first half?
He did the whole first half. And went back in at halftime, switched up everything, and then came back out. He was dressed, had everything from head to toe. He even had on the gloves. He said, no, I'm not doing this the second half.
So 2009, my last year, and I was injured, so for the outdoor game in Wrigley Field, right? But I wasn't playing, but I was there, and I had everything on, right? And I sat beside Ozzy with the heated bench or whatever, and I was still cold. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, right. So that's no joke. And you mentioned that wind coming in, so it wasn't as bad as you get closer to Lakeshore or whatever.
Thank God you weren't at Soldier Field.
No, that's what I'm saying. But you could feel like we looked at each other a couple of times and goes, could you imagine if we were playing football here and stuff like that? That's the worst. So did you say there was a graphic for playoff picture for people that their teams might be still involved in this, as we can see? I mean, Arizona, obviously Kyler Murray hurt, but Colt McCoy came in. Tennessee. I look at this, Terry, and what this just tells me is it's up for grabs. It's sort of like,
Yeah, I mean.
There's a lot of, there's new teams in there, but there's, with the records that there are, and everything else, there might be more movement. New teams.
I always ask this question: who are you afraid of? Who scares the hell out of you if you had to play them in the playoffs? I don't think anybody.
Rams.
Yeah, not it all depends. I guess the question is, here's the part 2 of the question: do you expect Odell Beckham to land anywhere in particular? I know that. I might say, the Baltimore with another weapon and stuff like this, because my view on Lamar Jackson has improved as more of a complete quarterback. So with a few more pieces with that, but again, Terry, there's no boogeyman on the board.
Right. And you asked the question, do I think he's going to sign with somebody? Yes. But if I'm running the team, I'm hanging up the phone. You can go somewhere else with OBJ. If I am on this board right here and I'm thinking championships, I want no part of him.
See, and
I think he's going to hurt the team.
Who is this now?
OBJ. Terry said if he's an owner, he says he's going to sign somewhere, but Terry believes he's too much of a cancer.
I'm gonna tell you the team that I am impressed with. I'm very impressed with Arizona, how they have been able to continue their win streak, but the Titans surprised me against the Rams. They did. I thought them losing Derrick Henry and coming into LA and playing there and to play the way they did. I mean, they played lights out defense.
What do you think, as a running back, but AP? Adrian Peterson coming in and
he came in. He did what he's supposed to do. He wasn't a difference maker, but he did what he's supposed to do.
But you still need a guy to hold on to the ball and get you a few yards here and there, no matter what, right?
He did what he was supposed to do. He had some. Let's put that back. Let's keep that up there. So when you have the Titans, AP came in and he did everything he was supposed to do. All right, he held the ball, he got him in the end zone, got a touchdown, but he's been out of football for quite some time, and so him coming back, he's still trying to get some of the cobwebs off. He's trying to get his legs back underneath him, but he's such a professional and such a pro. He's like, I can come back in, I'm ready, and that's the type of guy he is. And to have a guy like Derrick Henry go down, and have a guy like AP out there, that was a win for them, because he's not going to. The one thing that AP is not going to do, he's not going to hurt you. He's only going to make you better. And the longer he continues to play and practice and get his legs up underneath, just makes this team that much dangerous. Right?
You know what he is?
What?
He's as solid and guaranteed as Guardian Alarm, because Guardian Alarm gets it just like Adrian Peterson got it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm has the convenient features that let you check in on your home, your controls, your temperatures, detect smoke, or even the deadly killer, carbon monoxide. So you can use the lock and unlock your doors from anywhere. If you want to be part of the Guardian family, all you have to do is call 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Better harmonies. Let's give it to everybody all the way into the Birmingham roast. 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out of my house.
Stay out of Fish's house. Stay out of the fishbowl. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years of keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports. We'll be back to tie this up. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's up? Back here, Big D Energy. Final segment. Terry Foster, the professor, has been in with his spitting knowledge. Joint Bell, Fish, Sawyer, everybody. Tomorrow night, I gotta say, I'm gonna go. See, the Ravens are playing the Dolphins. What would Neil say as far as if he's gonna watch this game? I would say probably not. This isn't must-see
because it doesn't start at 1 in the morning, so he's not going to watch the game.
That's a good point, Terry. That's a good point. His viewing is a little skewed. That could be from hanging out with Fish. But Ravens at the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the home dog at 7.5. Joink, any thoughts on this this game? I would be interested if Odell Beckham signs with the Ravens. I would throw it on.
You would throw it on?
I would throw it on. Just to see if I could see any.
He won't play this week. He wouldn't play this week.
Okay. Well, I don't know the rules in football.
No. I was saying that he'll have to get it acclimated with the playbook.
Just can't run on deep routes? Just go?
Nah, it's just a little more complicated
Okay,
than that.
I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. But
so the thing is, he doesn't have to go there and learn football. He has to go there and he has to learn terminology. That's always the toughest part. You got the trips right. That's easy. The trips right bunch, but the motioning when it gets tricky. Zig, zag. Where am I going? What's this? Am I zigging already across? Am I zagging going there, coming back? Okay, when I go back, where am I lining? What's the route? What's the, not the formation, but what's the concept? What's the route concept? And you got to get all this in your head. And it gets to a point where they try to make it easier for you when you have your 2-minute offense. They'll just say a name. They'll do bubble, it's a bubble screen, hands up, your hands over your face, and you act like you're slipping. It's a slip screen. So it's different things you have to learn, which is, it's not hard to learn, but it's time consuming, and you have to be able to think on the fly.
So my question to you, learning different playbooks, does it ever cross paths because somebody in the Buffalo in the playbook and then in the Saints, they don't know, but maybe they're the play, but the terminology, because you're trying to process which one. Does that ever happen?
It's a copycat league. And so football doesn't change. They might add in a couple special plays here and there, but you have your West Coast offense and you learn that. So I remember I had to come up with different scenarios in my head on how to remember plays. And I remember I went to the Buffalo Bills, to the Eagles, to the Colts, back to the Eagles, then to the Saints. So that's like four playbooks I had to learn in 1 year. And it takes a year to really learn. It takes a long time to learn a playbook. And so I have to come up with different scenarios in my head that help me remember the play. So I remember I went to the coach, and the playbook wasn't too difficult to read and understand. The hardest thing for me when I went to the coach was all the audibles that Peyton Manning had in his arsenal. I mean, you'll have a play called Jeff. And I'm like, what's Jeff? Oh, Jeff used to play right guard here 5 years ago, so we call it Jeff, so that's inside zone right. I don't know who Jeff is. And so, but we'll have
playing in Peyton's world, right?
So
it's like Peytonville.
It's crazy. So you see all these my bookies and the Lady Janes and the Woodward Sport logos around this room.
Yeah,
I do.
That's what his audibles look like across the. So we'll have to put the audibles down in the running back room. We had a whiteboard that went all the way around the room, and from top to bottom, it was filled with all the audibles that he had. And that was by far the hardest thing I had to learn there in Indianapolis. And so you go to these different teams, you have to learn these audibles. Because he called it, and you don't know it, Peyton will run down the field MFing you like this in your face on national TV. And that just couldn't – no one wants to be that guy. Don't be that guy. And so it's things like that you have to learn, man. It's tough. It's difficult. And there's no way you're going to go in there and learn that in a week.
It's truly Peytonville, as Joy explained it. But America's game of the week, was this the ratings from last week?
Chiefs and the Packers, yeah.
24.4 million viewers. I can't read.
7% surge. It was a 7% surge. They had the highest views of all of the NFL games this year, I believe. Best NFL Sunday afternoon telecast on any network.
College game was
with Jordan
Love. Michigan State.
Michigan State. 9.3 million. That's nowhere close to this.
But still, and that wasn't, or that okay, and yeah, but that's with Jordan Love. That wasn't even with Aaron Rodgers. I wonder if that would have pumped the numbers up even more. And
it would have.
It would, and the game that game wasn't that great. It was close, but I mean,
yeah, I don't consider every close game a good game. But best NFL Sunday afternoon telecast on any network this season. Most watched telecast of the week on any network, and up plus 7% over the last year's comparable window, 22.8 million. So yeah, like we're growing, man. NFL is growing every year. The revenue is going up every year. What they're bringing in is going up every year, man. I mean, it's you live here in America. This is must-see TV right here.
A couple things I wanted to get to because I ain't letting this die, and I will bring this up, update or whatever once a week. But the mother of the young boy up northern Michigan, as you can see that I found, the high school player assaulted by Brad Aldridge, criticizes Gary Bettman, is grateful for Kyle Beach, and she pretty much calls for him to quit his job or whatever, to be fired or whatever, to take away from that. And I have a picture that you'll have to look. I'd love for you to throw it up on the Big D Energy, but it is of the Stanley Cup, Chicago Blackhawks, and there's X's all through the middle of the lineup. So Brad Aldridge, his name is officially X'd off the Stanley Cup, nowhere near my name 4 times. So we're all good in the hood. Again, we got to keep continuing to talk if we're going to change, no matter what sport we're talking about and the power imbalance. But everybody's got their day. I encourage people, if you do not, read The Athletic. That's a great, some great articles in there, and continue to Kyle Beach and also to any other victims get the help that they need. But it's nice to see that the conversations keep going and accountability. So I wanted to let everybody know that right there. So great show today, fellas.
Great show. Had a good time.
I will be out tomorrow. I will be with Mr. Alex Broderick and Mr. Bernstein giving out cars for the VOA, Veterans of America, for 11/11 Veterans Day. Also, 6 years sobriety for D-Mac. So appreciate you, Alan Schaefer. Thanks for the donuts.
Congratulations.
Love all you guys.
Proud of you, D-Mac.
Thank you for T-Foss Sawyer.
Gang.
For Fish. We'll see you tomorrow. Big D Energy.
This is for Neil. Well, see you later.
Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win. It's now time for Pucking Around with 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty.
Takes that shot, McCarty! Darren McCarty has tied the game! He sure has.
Exclusively on the Woodward Sports Network. We are Detroit Sports.
All right, here we go. First edition for all you YouTubers out there on the internet. Little bonus edition, Big D Energy of Pucking Around. So I'm going to stand a little bit to the side as Sawyer gets this going. But today we're going to take a look at Tyler Bertuzzi. Yes, number 39. And I like to go back, and I like the way Sawyer does this. And it's not about the fighting, but it's about the willingness. And even back in his Grand Rapids days, as you can see here, you know, when I break it down in fight, he's a very good technical fighter as far as tying down and stuff like this. And against guys his size, or as I like to say more or less, the rats of the league is why, because he can play top minutes. And when you have a guy that can play top minutes and also take on some of the most pedestrian, and this is what you're going to see a lot of, Brad Marchand, Tyler Bertuzzi, getting into it. Obviously, here's another scrap. And what I wanted to show you guys is just the willingness. The willingness to be able to stand there and fight for your teammates at the top level for a guy that can play 20 minutes a game on every power play PK. But this is the stuff that gets it going. And obviously, this is a team toughness. You're not going to allow... and I want to show, and this is, even though this is last year, but this is everybody, this is what team toughness is. Everybody getting involved, everybody grabbing somebody. Strength in 5, so it doesn't matter who it is. Obviously, yeah, you're going to get in trouble for that. You can't do that, run the goalie. But here we go. Everybody jumps in, and you need this on a top line, and even though they're different players, it's sort of what Brendan Shanahan gave us to the Detroit Red Wings back in the day. A guy who could put the puck in the net, a guy who could play all the minutes, but, you know, every now and then you need to drag a guy around on the ice like Vinny Trocheck, good Little Caesars player. So, you know, a lot of these guys, it's because the Trochecks play like the Bertuzzis. The Bertuzzis play like the Marchands. All these guys that can take your top guys off. Because if Tyler Bertuzzi is worrying about this stuff, then Mo Seider doesn't have to worry about it. Then Dylan Larkin doesn't have to worry about it. Then guys can play. And what you always got to love, and you see it around, always loving to chirp. Chirping to me, which is talking to the other team. And hockey guys are pretty quick on their feet. And he loves to chirp. So there's certain guys, but it's all part. And it's part of the mentality and the psychology of the game. So there's a few of the physical willingness, identity. Tyler Bertuzzi plays always. And then here we go. We saw this early in the year. He's going to go to the hard areas, and he's going to put the puck in the net. Already this year, 9 goals. Obviously, it's being on the right place at the right time. Watch this puck movement here. This goes to show you I want to throw this power play. But it's how these guys attack, move the puck. He knows where it's going before it is. Little touch, little take. You know, to me, he's a complete player. Obviously, it's frustrating for Red Wings fans because of not having him in the lineup, but we don't have to worry about it playing in Canada until February. So, again, it's just effort. It's the engine. It's wanting to be better than everybody else, but it's also leading the charge in a hard way. So you see the hat-trick goal here, all effort. What are you going to say? You know, it's this kid does it all. He's an integral part. He's going to be a big reason for the success of this Detroit Red Wings hockey team moving forward. And every team has it, whether it's the energy guy, the guy that's going to stick up for you, block shots, we talked about it. The attitude that Tyler Bertuzzi has, the mentality, bleeds through this team. So him being out there makes everybody else a little bit more rambunctious, a little bit tougher, maybe gives them a little bit more freedom to say what's on their mind. So Tyler Bertuzzi, not only so effective all over the ice, there's a sweet little dipty-doo, and that's not just on anybody. That's on one of the best defensemen in the game, Sergachev. So, again, look, he's not slowing down. He's not stopping, and expect a great year and things to continue. Maybe not at this pace, but the energy and the effort every night will be there. So that'll be Pucking Around this week on Tyler Bertuzzi. Stay tuned, Woodward Sports Network, and remember, go Wings.